It's taken 9 whole years, but here we are with a long-awaited sequel to The Accountant. For my money, the first film ranks as Ben Affleck's best action vehicle. While his superhero roles and other stabs at franchises, such as his turn as Jack Ryan in The Sum of All Fears, never totally panned out, The Accountant was a different story. The role of Christian Wolff seemed tailor-made for him. In the first movie, Wolff, who worked as a forensic accountant for the mob, was revealed to be something of a do-gooder, using the information he learned from his jobs to help the feds take down violent criminals. While that would have made the film a serviceable action vehicle, writer Bill Dubuque and director Gavin O'Connor made the choice to have Wolff be autistic. As such, they spent a significant amount of time detailing how the quirks of his condition made him better at his job, but also made it hard for him to bond with others, including his brother Braxton, who was originally the antagonist in the first film, but who had a change of heart at the 11th hour. So in this one, after his friend is killed while trying to track down a missing woman, Christian Wolff attempts to solve the murder. When the trail leads to the dangerous world of human trafficking, he's forced to contact his deadly, estranged younger brother Braxton, once again played by Jon Bernthal, for help. So in the sequel, Bernthal has been bumped up to co-star status, with the movie playing out like an ultra-violent version of Rain Man in some respects, with the two teaming up to unravel the violent plot. The Accountant 2 has been highly anticipated here at JoBlo, and I'm happy to report that the movie lives up to the first one and might actually be better in some ways thanks to the byplay between Affleck and Bernthal, who make for a dynamic buddy pairing. While the plot is confusing at times and probably a lot more complicated than it needed to be, it's all just an excuse to put these two guys together and let them do their thing. For his part, Affleck looks trim and engaged and seems to relish once again sinking his teeth into one of his most memorable characters. Despite being killers, the movie does a nice job humanizing both of them. Christian and Braxton are portrayed as ultimately lonely, with Wolff giving speed dating a try in a funny sequence, while Braxton agonizes over whether or not he should adopt a dog. You get a sense that the thing that's really missing from both of their lives is simply each other. Bernthal, in particular, is allowed to almost walk away with the movie, as Braxton pushes Christian's buttons for largely comic effect, making the film a lot more amusing than the darker first one was. One thing about The Accountant 2 is that for most of the running time, the action does take a bit of a backseat, save for a nifty opening scrap with J.K. Simmons, who returns to the first film in a smaller role, and a cool moment where Christian violently interrogates a thug. Yet, in the last half hour, the action is ramped up to a level not seen in the first film, with a sprawling final gun battle in Mexico that riffs on heat and delivers in a pretty big way. Overall, The Accountant 2 works terrifically well as a slam-bang action comedy, with Affleck and Bernthal at their absolute best.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
Cynthia Ade Robinson returns as the straight-laced treasury agent, helping out our anti-heroes, with her proving to be a good foil, especially for the more murderous Braxton, who doesn't quite have the scruples his older brother has. Danielle Pineda also makes an impression as a mysterious hitwoman who enters their orbit, with her backstory figuring heavily into the plot. The only thing the movie is really missing is a good bad guy, as the villains are mostly just a barrage of faceless goons who only exist so Affleck and Bernthal can blow them away in the climax. Christian's squad of fellow autistic savant helpers also seem a little all too powerful, especially with them all being children, although this does seem like kind of a deliberate riff on Sherlock Holmes's Baker Street Irregulars. I'm not complaining though. As a meat and potatoes action fan, I've been starving for a film like this. I love the sleek 87 North style action flicks that are in favor now, but The Accountant 2 is old school in a way that I've been missing. Feels like the kind of movie that we used to take for granted in the 80s and 90s, but have been missing from movie theater screens for quite a while these days. The extra emphasis on characterization only sweetens the plot, so as far as I'm concerned, bring on The Accountant 3. I give this a very solid 8 out of 10.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.